Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography is an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's 5150, the book, it's the story of a young Irwin serving 13 months in South Vietnam as a Marine. And author Larry Buford's book to the future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, now available in paperback for only $17.95. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And the answer is we're going to be seeing a day in the life of basically going to see what it's like to be an actor today. We're going to see what actors do on the daily. I'm not currently on set. I'm out of work right now, but there's still always plenty things that an actor can do to fill their day. A lot of things you can get done. You actually have a lot going on when you're on set and when you're off set, actually. So, like, for instance, right? I'm not working right now. What am I doing? Hustling, behind the scenes. I'm on the phone with my manager at least 3 times a day. It's like, what do? I get up at 6. I get up at 6, I stretch. I make a coffee, I focus. There are things that you have to do to be an effective actor. As an artist, I've always said, get the fuck out of my way, dude. You can always be bettering yourself as an actor. As an artist, you want to better yourself as a person. Even though when I'm in the car, look, I can
unionize.
Put something.
At least 8 congressional campaigns have to.
You know, put some jazz on or something.
Ayad is the
or
union
some NPR.
secretary.
Learn about the world. Listen to some news.
That workers in this industry have been exploited, and now we're finally standing together to put an end.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know on this program, we talk about talent, specifically actors and actresses. These folks are in need of support in helping them achieve their careers, as you saw in that video. Today, we're going to talk to a talent management and consulting specialist. She was born in Jamaica, came to California at the age of 15. She's been a high fashion model, an actress, and even had the time to get a degree in psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Belle Bromfield. Thank you, Belle. Thank you so much. You look good today, girl. Oh, look at G-O-D-G-O-O-D. Damn, go on, girl. So there are a lot of actors and actresses out there. Do they really need a manager?
At some point they do. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's like when they're starting and they need that support, or when they've got to a certain point in their career and they need to propel to the next level.
Right.
Or yeah, if they just choose to have one. But yeah, we're always needed.
So in other words, I can do without you.
At some point you're gonna need us. You know, I say to the actor that's starting out, if you'd like to bring somebody in and pay 15%, you know, of $500, it's totally up to you. But if you want to get to the point where you're now $50,000 and pay 15%, that's also, you know, at that point very important too, right? So I feel that an actor that's starting out that has something special that they know for sure that they're working with, they just need some direction, support, and guidance, can bring a manager in. I guess they have to be willing to pay that extra 15%, you know. Mm-hmm. And then at some point when their career is taking off and they definitely need good people around them to help make good decisions, you should bring a manager in. At that point, you definitely need a manager. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we know in this business, here's the star. Around that person is what? The manager, the agent, the publicist, the CPA, the flunky, the attorney,
lawyer.
All these people. All these people.
A whole team. Now it's the social media person as well, you know, because now they're going to social media to see the numbers and how they're engaging on social media and their fans. Mm-hmm. So you definitely need also that team. And there's a media training team as well. You know, as you get to a certain point in your career, you need a media training team. So now it's not just agent, manager, publicists. It's stylists, you know, it's like a whole, it's a full-on team of people.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I know.
How did you get in this business in the first place?
I know. So I started as talent. I was a model, an actor, and I remember coming home from off tour, and I remember just being asked a lot of questions by girls that looked like me, like, how did you just get into the business? How did you get your career going? How did you get it moving? And I thought, wow, I did a lot of legwork. I did a lot of research and learning the business while I was a talent. And I guess just having a degree in psychology, loving to help people, I gravitated more to that. And I went for it. I said, being a talent is stressful. Like, I have a lot of compassion when I represent talent because I was a talent before. So I understand their mind, I understand the psyche of it, I understand their struggle, to being the best, always having to be the best. Questioning, am I the best in this moment? If I didn't get the job, what did I do wrong? Nothing. Sometimes it's just absolutely nothing, just went with someone else, So that helps me to lead and to guide from that place of compassion towards actors and a lot of patience, with them because I was a talent as well. But I gravitated to the business, and once I got in, and I loved it. It just became natural for me, and I was like, I'm staying here. This is my lane, and I found it. And yeah, I never looked back.
Never looked back.
No.
But you got your own business now. Got your business card, got everything with your name on it.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the fancy glory side of it, the fluff side of it, but behind that, it's been a lot of tears and team building and who's the right people for my business to support me, in having this business and maintaining this business so I can successfully represent others. And so, yeah, that's a journey. That's been a journey in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know your mother and father are very proud of you.
They are proud, and if my mom's not watching, she's gonna want a clip of this show. We'll
make sure she gets one.
Yeah,
sure. Just give me an email.
But yeah, she is proud.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. How many clients do you have now, currently?
My roster is comprised of 20. It doesn't get any bigger than that. I've done a roster of 1. I've done a roster of 50. As an agent, I did a roster of almost 200. And so now it's at 20. That's a comfortable number for me because now that comprises of actors, writers, directors. And so, yeah, that's a good number.
Can you tell us who some of them are?
Sure. Right now, it's Kevin Nevane, it's Ann Byer, it's Sabrina Perez, it's Randy Clark, it's Key Seymour, it's Kanique Sky, it's Nyla Clark, it's Erica Trumpet.
That Kanique Sky, I've heard that lady before.
Yes,
somewhere.
Kanique she's out there in the marketplace.
Yes.
And she's doing extremely well. Yes. Very proud of her. That's how I met you.
That's how we met each other.
That's how we met in a show that you guys were in together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very happy to represent her. So I look for gems. They come to me and I identify them and I represent them,
okay.
And I've worked with some names before. We can talk a little bit more about that in the past. But for me, it's about finding the gem and developing the gem into that megastar, into that, seeing the potential and me just knowing they just need the push, they just need the guidance, it just needs to be surrounded by the right person.
Yes.
And not just someone that understands the business, but understand some people that understand them as a person. They're individuals. A lot of times they're treated as just like, a tool. Sometimes, unfortunately, even a pawn on somebody's chessboard. Yeah. But they're people.
Yeah.
They're people with feelings and lives and dreams and aspirations, disappointments and real feelings. They're real people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they come from all over the world to come here to Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I want to be on the stage. I want to be up on the big screen. I want to. That's all you ever hear. Mm-hmm. And, they sometimes have to tell, one of my favorite expressions, and I hate to say it, but sometimes I tell people there are stars. And what is a star? It's rat spelled backwards.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you meet stars and sometimes you don't meet stars. The wannabes, the could-bes, the used-to-bes, the SOBs. Sometimes you meet a lot of these people in this business. It is a struggle. You got to deal with ego. You got to deal with attitude. You got to deal with motivation. Mm-hmm. Lady, you got a job.
Yes, I do not represent the arrogant. I do not represent the arrogant.
I can't be a Hollywood bad boy on your roster.
It just doesn't mesh well with me. I'm not the right fit. Gotcha. Yeah, I usually stay away from those for sure. Yeah, gotcha. And, we have to have a lot of humility because it's a business where one day you're loved and the next day you're not, and so it is a business of privilege. Yes. But it is also a business of just because it's so flaky and because it can be so inconsistent, and it cannot be about your ego.
Right.
It cannot be about your pride.
Excuse me, do you know who I am?
Right. Yeah.
It's moi.
Yes, and I'm like, I'm Belle Bromfield. That doesn't represent that. That would be my response to that. Yeah. So.
You're kind. I would tell him, go sit on it somewhere, dude. I noticed with your roster, you have a lot of diversity in there. That's good.
Yeah, that is important to me.
Yes.
I first started out really honing on and wanting to represent people that looked like me because they were underserved. A decade ago, we were very, very underserved. And now, of course, that has changed, and that's great. But for me, again, diversity is important because all people need to be served and served well. And so that was important for me.
Right. Because all those years we went through it where minorities did not see someone up on that screen that looked like them.
Right.
Those days are gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the minority is not just, Black actors, right. African American actors.
Right.
They're the Asian actors or the Indian actors, the Hispanic actors, the disabled actors.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so.
There's a lot of competition out there for people in your wanting to become a manager. Is that correct? A lot of managers out there?
Probably. That's never something that I think about.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
But they're out there.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm familiar with them. As an agent, I had to know who all the managers were.
Okay.
And so now that I'm a manager, I have to focus on who all the agents are.
Okay.
So how many managers are there? It's not really something that I focus on because my goal is to have relationships with agents and producers. And managers are my colleagues. They're my associates. They're really my friends, So if there's many of them out there, my thing is that I recently signed someone and he had options and I didn't know who he was going to go with. He chose me. And I'm grateful, and it was, kind, and I'm excited. But it's the right fit, though, and that's great, And so that's what it's about for me. I don't have an ego in saying you have to be with me. No, if somebody wants to be with Joe Black because that's the better fit, that's who's going to move their career. That's it's their choice. It's still their career. It's still their choice.
Right.
So yes, I'll put my bid in. I'll put my best foot forward, but at the end of the day, I support. An artist, an actor, a talent that makes the best choice for them as well. Sometimes they circle back to me when it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And if it's the time was right and that's the right time and it still works for both of us, then because a relationship is not one-sided. No relationship, including this one, with your representation cannot be one-sided. So if it works for both of us, then we, go ahead.
I've always heard the expression, your attitude will determine your altitude. And I believe in that because, again, if you're like an apple in a barrel and you have a bad attitude, a huge ego, who wants to work with you?
Yeah, you keep coming back to that. Do you
Yes,
experience that a lot?
Oh, God, every day. And it's not just me looking in the mirror. I mean, you go out here in the world and you see that. You say to yourself, we were just saying this in the green room, the fact that better than I feel like, because I am a double prostate cancer survivor, I got up this morning. That's the best thing that happened to me today.
Absolutely.
I got up, couldn't get no better than that.
Yeah, no better.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's a privilege to still be here.
Amen.
When, are surrounding and looking at how the world has changed,
yes.
That you can just walk outside your door in anywhere, any part of the world, and you may not be here the next minute.
That's right.
So, I think that is a privilege. One of the things that I definitely encourage my actors to do is to never just start talking to me, especially top of the morning, because you don't know if I woke up. So it's just good to say good morning, how are you doing? Because you just never know.
Right.
And I lead with that as well.
Good.
With my colleagues, my friends, my clients, my family. It's just great. Good morning. How are you? How are you feeling today?
Right.
And then let's talk about what is it that you want?
Right.
Because that's coming. I know that's coming. I know you're reaching out because you probably want something. But let's just talk about how we're feeling.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a talent agent and a talent manager?
I know, that's such a popular question. I get that all
Yes.
the time. I used to be an agent and now I'm a manager. And the difference really is that the agent focuses on getting the work. They're about getting the clients the job and closing the deal. And the manager is about making sure that the job that the agent wants for the client is the right job.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
In a nutshell, that's basically what it is.
Okay. Also, as a part of your job, I understand you give consultations to your clients. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So I'm always guiding and advising. I recently had a situation with a client that is now living here in LA, but still has a out-of-state agent that is considered like a local hire. So this job presented itself, and the client was going to turn the audition down. And so I said, let's not do that. Let's get it on tape, because it was a smaller role. So the question was, is it worth it, money-wise? As a local hire, they have to find themselves there and board themselves as well. So the question becomes, is the money worth, for me to even take the booking? Should it become a booking for? And so she was thinking about not doing the audition at all. I said, put yourself on tape, because you're fantastic. Once casting sees you, let them come back and say, we want her, and then we can say, is there something bigger? Is there something else? But don't miss the opportunity. Wow. And so that happened, and she booked it with, and it turned out fantastic. So that's part of that's my job, consulting and guiding, advising. That's what I do.
Along with that, does it mean left shoulder or right shoulder? Because sometimes those egos get in the way. They didn't get the job to get on. So, they start crying and carrying on.
Because I don't represent ego,
okay.
I represent.
You said that twice.
Because I don't represent ego, I represent my clients just wanting to say, you know what, we'll get the next one. And sometimes, there are those that will say, that will kind of wonder, is it something about them? So I think I spent a little bit more time using my psychology degree to get into the human behavior, into the mind of people, and just reassuring them that as long as you've done your best, we did our best, God will do the rest. It's not you. So I spend more time doing that than people being upset at everybody because they didn't get the job when they deserved it. If that makes sense. That
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there's so many people coming into the business every day. There are those who are leaving, but when you look at all the colleges and universities, all the theater departments, all these people, they got illusions of grandeur. I want to be one of those people. And here we are. Here I am. Look at me. It's me.
And you know what? I say you can be. You can be one of those people that are successful. You just need a plan, a strategy, set the goals. But you can be. If you aspire to be like Viola Davis, go. I love that. I love aspirations. I believe in it.
Yes.
I'm all for that.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I say, well, let's take a look at what Viola did.
Yes.
Let's see what she did. Let's see some of the choices that she made.
Yes.
Viola Davis was playing the ugly boo-hoo cry roles in Antoine Fisher, in projects like that where, she was basically a drug, and she played older as well. So are you willing to do what are you willing to do if you want a career because it's it goes back to what are you willing to do?
Right.
You can't say I want this, I want that. What are you willing to do?
Yes.
Because they've made some sacrifices.
Yeah.
They did some strategical things.
Oh, yes.
Are you willing to, even though you look 25, play 40?
Right.
I've had female clients that have said, I look like Halle Berry, and I'm never playing over 40.
Power of makeup.
And that gets challenging because, you're almost 40.
Yes.
So what do we do?
Right.
So those are some of the things for sure
Yes.
that we encounter and that we have to work through.
Okay. Thank you for using Viola Davis as an example. I love that lady. I love her.
Yes.
I love her. She's a great
Absolutely.
actress.
Yes.
I love to watch her work.
She used to be celebrated. She used to be someone that we talk about, and she represents girls that look like me.
Yep.
That we didn't see on screen much. And never forget that one episode of How to Get Away with Murder when she slowly took her wig off.
Wig? She wears a wig.
And what that represented, it was so many things in that moment. There were so many messages in that moment.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just about just taking off the wig.
Yes.
There were so many messages there. And we need more of that.
Yeah.
We need more of the undertone, the underlying messages, the messages that speaks to us as women, as Black women.
Yes.
That can inspire and motivate us and encourage us.
Her film that she did, The Help, I've seen it 1,000 times. I love that movie.
Love that movie. That was also a project where she played older.
Yes, yes.
As well.
Had to put weight on, had to do a lot of things. Yes.
So Viola has done definitely unconventional choices.
Yes.
So now where she is in her career, and did a fantastic job in Widows.
Yes.
I just saw that, and that was great.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. I understand that she chose the hairstyle. That was her own decision to make that hairstyle. She didn't want to put a wig on. She wants to be natural.
And she rocked it.
She rocked it.
Looks
Yes,
great.
she did. Yes, she did. In my research with you, I noticed that you have several other staff members, including a director of development, a producer, a publicist, and you, the talent man. That's a great business you got there.
Yes. Listen, when I was building, I understood that I had to flesh something out that would help me to have longevity. That was very important for me.
Yes.
Being able to not just maintain, but to be able to still be here. So
It's working. It's working. It's working.
Yes, thank God.
Every day it's working.
Thank God. Yes,
Yeah,
a lot of
great.
work, but I understood that it wasn't just about having the title as a manager just to represent people.
Gotcha.
It was about a business that would be long-standing and having the longevity that I would continue to represent people. Without clients, I'm not a talent manager. You know, so that's
Yeah.
that was the goal.
Well, let me say this, Belle. I'm an actor. I heard about you.
Yeah.
Good reputation. And said to myself, let me check out Belle Bromfield. I make an appointment. I meet you. What happens then?
You know, when I first started, my meetings would be just like very conventional in terms of questions. Now it's about dialogue. Now it's about getting to know the person. Now it's about, what we have in common. And what's interesting is that half of my roster is filled with people of faith. And as a woman of faith, as a believer, I didn't go out looking for them. They've been coming to me, and that's amazing. So we have that in common. I recently signed a writer, and at the end of our meeting, our contract meeting, he said to me, "Is there anything that I can pray with you about?" And I'm like, "Yes." I'll take all the prayer I can get.
Gotcha.
But so it's about the making and then listening to see if their goals, and if I can match their goals, if I understand their goals, if I can move their goals, if I can even propel those goals, or their vision. If I understand their vision, and
Gotcha.
so it's about that. It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they're taking other meetings, I give them time to finish their meetings, and then we circle back to see if we're moving forward together.
Got you. Do you take narrators by any chance?
Look, absolutely. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Had a lot of
Amazing
fun.
voice.
Had a good director, one of your clients.
Oh, I know. I love
Miss Sky
that.
was something
I
else.
love that show. I was so busy. I just came off of a play, doing assistant directing for a play, and that show was like wrapping up the next day. I was tired and all get out, but I'm so happy I slid on in and sat there in the front. I enjoyed it to the max. It was beautifully done. Yes, the
well
entire
written.
cast.
Cosmin Russell wrote it, put it together. Very nice.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Come to an agreement. Where does it go from there? Contract, got to sign that contract. Once we do that, what happens?
Sign the contract. They get on my system, on my roster,
Okay.
and if it's an actor, help them to find an agent so
Okay.
they can get, if it's commercials, theatrical, get auditions. If it's a writer,
Okay.
if there's a project that they're working on, we need to help develop. We'll develop that and to pitch it and sell it for the marketplace.
Okay.
If it's a director, now most people are doing everything. They're writing, they're acting, they're directing, they're producing.
Yes.
So that's fun,
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate for the talent, for whether it's an actor, writer, whatever it is, to have a project that you're excited about, that you've created. I'd love to create, even though I'm not a talent anymore. I am a creator. And so getting behind creators is absolutely fantastic. You can book a job here or there for somebody else, but if you have your own passion project or a project that you're doing, I think it's the best way to position yourself for the marketplace.
Okay. We got to take a break, but before we go,
Okay.
we'd like to ask one quick question.
Sure.
Are there other black managers out there who are also women?
I've heard that there are not many, and so when I go out in the marketplace, everybody always assumes that I'm an actor first. I've had several agents today that still wants to sign me, and then when they found out that I am a manager, they're it's not that many of you guys. So that's what I've heard, that there are not that many.
Yes.
There's a group called Diverse Representation that's run by Jana White, and she is aggregating a list of like black reps in the industry, which include lawyers and managers and agents and publicists. So she has an event coming up in about a week or so, and I'm looking forward to go because I want to meet my colleagues. I want to meet more of who's out there and see and interact and interface with them. So,
wow, okay. On that note, we'll take a break.
Okay.
I want to also let you know that if you notice I'm wearing red, white, and blue today, there's a reason for that. As you know, we lost our president, number 41, George H.W. Bush.
Yes.
And he was in the Navy when I was in the Navy. I do remember him.
Oh.
So it was he's one of my fellow members. So today we're going to dedicate today's show to him. The studio of Harvey, and by the way, rest in peace, my brother. Thank you so much. Go Navy. He was there with us. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography is an artist proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his clients. So please, give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad that you did. Oh, yeah, and by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer, our offer, right here on The Actor's Choice. 5150, the book. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. As a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chulai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience, where nearly 3 million Americans went to war, was, as he puts it, 5150. The book is currently available on paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com, and Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and the Vietnam veterans of America. Back to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. That's from Amazon. So please get your copy today. And now a word from a good friend. She's State Farm Agent Carla Green. Roll it.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them, but a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
In case you haven't heard, in the spirit of the coming new year, the U.S. Postal Service has announced several of the new Forever stamps. They include Marvin Gaye, the Prince of Motown, one of the most influential music performers of his generation. Also receiving a new stamp will be singer-dancer Gregory Hines, whose unique style of tap dancing injected new artistry into the American form. Marvin Gaye and Gregory Hines, congratulations to the both of them. The stamps will be available in 2019. And speaking of Motown, the Temptations were one of the top groups on that label. Louis Price was the former lead singer for the group. On Saturday, December 15th at 8 p.m., join Price for an evening of fun music with tasty, original, and special guests. Come on down to the Ann and Jerry Moss Theater, located at 3131 Olympic Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90404. That's 3131 Olympic Boulevard, Santa Monica, 90404. Tickets available at itsmyseat.com/Louis Price, or just call 818-539-0997. That's 818-539-0997. Remember, Saturday, December 15th at 8 o'clock, the Louis Price Experience. I'll see you there. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call me at 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very, very affordable. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington, and today our guest, talent manager, Belle Bromfield. Okay, we're back with talent with you, and I want to ask you another question. Your background. You come from Jamaica, man. Jamaica. You stayed there until you're 15 years of age?
I did.
Yeah, you miss Jamaica?
I do, especially the rivers. I was there last summer for my grandfather's funeral, my mom's dad.
Yes.
And I would just go bathe in the river.
Yeah.
And I would just bask in that anointing of just refreshment and yeah, it was just great. I had a good time. So I do miss it. You know, it's where I was raised and it's where I have my roots. And so I'm grateful for that.
What city?
Kingston.
Kingston, yes, yes.
City girl. I've
Yes.
always been a city girl.
One thing for sure, there's a whole bunch of guys, including the fastest man in the world. Jamaica has put a lot of folks out there. They didn't know, what is Jamaica? It's an island with a lot of people, a lot of fun.
Yes, and congratulations to Dalton from the UK Voice. He just won UK The Voice.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
It's been fabulous. We've been cheering him on. I've been watching, and very excited for his win and his success. Yeah.
Got you. Do you get Jamaican clients?
I do. I love my people. So absolutely. I've represented Josiane Marie, which is currently on tour with her play, her one-woman show, Beautiful. I've represented Kevin Navane, who is actually doing the Marcus Garvey story. He's the lead in that project. I've represented Conrad Roberts. He's from the islands as well. Yeah, so I am all about, if they come to me, I'll welcome them. Excellent. Absolutely.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. What an attitude. Wow, wow. Back in 2015, you were associated with the 5th NAFCA, a.k.a. African Oscars. Can you please tell us about that one?
Yeah, sure. So that project came to me through my very good friend who I've always represented, Clyde Jones, Soul Glow, who's known as Soul Glow. And so he was a producer on the project. He still is currently for their last production. And they said they could use some help. And so I said, sure. And so I dived in and helped to book talent and had a fun experience, One of my greatest things with live projects is day of the show.
Okay.
Just running the whole show. Just making sure everything works. Okay. And so I had so much fun. It was great working with Tina and Amber and their team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know there's a lot of the third world countries are now coming this way. Bollywood, all these different countries are now saying, hey, we want to get a piece of that action too.
Well, here's an interesting thought, and what's going on is that when you think of like international territories where films are successful, you think of China, you think of Japan, but now they're starting to think of the continent of Africa, and that's on the rise.
Yes. And
in the next decade or so, we're going to see a lot more of that happening. So if people are thinking that, if that's their thought, if they're highlighting filmmakers from the continent, if they're giving them more exposure and visibility, they're onto something.
Yes.
For sure.
We lost a good friend of mine this year. His name is Michael Njakwe Jr. He's from Nigeria. That's his background.
The writer.
The writer.
Yes.
He's a good friend.
I was recently with my business partner who represented him last night. So we had a brief conversation about him.
Yeah, he's sitting up there right now. We miss you, Michael. We sure do.
He was apparently he was loved.
Oh, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have been associated with training and education. I found a tribute that you did about acting school that you recommended called Hollywood Jumpstart.
Hollywood Jumpstart. And, I don't even know if they still exist. But as an agent, I did a lot of, visits.
Yes.
As an agent, I did more scouting than I do as a manager. I don't do any scouting as a manager, even though I signed a fantabulous actor.
Yes.
And fantabulous is not a word, but I say that a lot. Fantabulous it's so interesting, and I'm not sure where I got that.
I like that word.
But Elisa Murray, I went to a showcase with a colleague of mine who's an agent that had a talent in that play, and I couldn't take my eyes off this girl. Yes, and so I signed her. So every now and then that happens, but for the most part, I get clients through referrals.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of scouting. But back to Hollywood Jumpstart. That was a school where we were an advocate for young talent coming out of their program.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a small clip. Can we roll that?
Oh, I don't even know how you found that, but.
Hollywood Jumpstart is definitely a wonderful medium for talents to be able to showcase and for agents to come down and see the talent. And it's definitely highly recommended for the parents and for the kids. I think the parents feel safe there. They feel that Jill is working hard in coherence with Hollywood Jumpstart to find the best fit for their kids and to find a good agency to represent their kids.
Wow, that was nice. That was very nice.
I remember my mom saying, "Why were you blinking so much?"
Oh, we like to dig out things that we can look when we get a guest on the show. Definitely, definitely. You are also a model. Please tell us about that experience.
Woo-wee. That's my story to fame. No. That's one of my favorite stories. That goes back to Jamaica. 10-year-old girl watching TV, and Halle Berry comes on the screen, and I say, I want to be like her. That's how that happened. And so as soon as I moved to California, my mom got me in programs, and I did a pageant at 15 or 16, Miss Southern California something, and then I started in my first runway show as a hair model with my current hairstylist who still does my hair today. We were both kids, and we both just had a dream, and we just dreamt together. He started to do hair, and I was his model.
Right.
And then from that runway show, several of those to other stages, and print modeling. And I loved it. I loved it. From there, I created a self-esteem program for girls, empowering young girls through self-esteem building and just through understand their beauty. So modeling did the opposite for me. I mean, for some girls, they'll say that the negative that comes from that is that it tears them down, or it has them. I was always naturally thin. And so, yes, I had a diet maybe before a show or so, but I ate, what I basically wanted to eat. I would just make sure that I worked out. But I didn't starve myself.
Right.
And I really learned a lot about myself and about beauty and about really accepting who I was. And I remember somebody saying this to me, and I cannot remember who said it to me. But they said something so profound as, it doesn't matter how much somebody else thinks you're beautiful. It doesn't matter until you believe it. And so that journey of modeling helped me to really dive in and really understand what beauty from within meant, and really owning it for myself and accepting it and walking in it. And so modeling was great. I had so much fun. It was the love of my life.
That's it.
I never thought I would stop modeling. And I was only 5'6", but I ate up every runway show in Los Angeles. My creative director is here with me today, and so he's been with me since I was 19
What's
years
his name?
old, David Larry, and he can attest to how great I was on every show. Designers and only that wanted to work with me. And I remember they would say, she's shorter, but she sure enough can walk that runway. We have to put her in the show. And so they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had fun.
Like I said, when I do my research, I found you have been doing a lot of things. You toured with Anthony Grant for 6 years in a version of a musical play by Troy Buckner called A Passion for Justice.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
So coming out of modeling, that was my first big gig as an actor.
Okay.
And I toured with, and Anthony was the director for the show. We were just all together in Las Vegas.
Right.
Troy Buckner honored a few of us, and that included Tony Grant and his wife, Trisha Mann Grant,
Yes.
and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a lovely time just this past Monday after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And that was a great experience as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had fun doing that was my first main acting gig.
Mm-hmm.
And then after touring with them, I did a few more things, but it was not long after that I went on the business side.
Got you.
So that was, so it was only maybe like not even a year after that show, after touring with that show, that I started to become, just all about the business.
Got you.
And never looked back.
Never looked back.
I never looked back, yeah.
Got you.
But that was fun times.
Right.
Yeah, I played the all the heck out of that role. Oh my gosh, I was a crazy Jamaican inmate. It was so much fun. I had so much fun. We toured all over. Yeah.
I wonder what the audition was like. My goodness. Yes.
I know, it was interesting because it's a musical, so they sing. I'm the only main character that did not sing, but it was undeniable that she was funny and she's pretty, and so they were like, we have to give her this role. They took a chance on me, but they were so happy and pleased, and so was I. I had such a great time. Right. Great cast. I made some longtime friends. Right. Like I said, Tony is one of them. Cassandra, Pumaya, who's also who was the music director, and so that was great. I also right before that show, I did a trophy model for Essence Awards, and my friend Ricky Minor was sitting in a meeting and said, they were like, we want to have a girl that's more dark this year and go a different direction. And so he was flipping through a magazine that I was in. He was like, who is this girl? Find her. And they found me and booked me for that show. And then right after that show, I booked the play.
Got you.
And toured, yeah.
Got you. I have an expression I call it the 3 E's: education, exposure, and experience. And that's what you're doing. I've seen a lot of people do that. You get that formal education, you get out there and take the world off, those blinders off, see things out there in the world. There's a lot of things to see in the world.
There's a lot of things to see. And there are so many more things that I want to see.
Yes.
And so many more things that I want to be exposed to.
Yes.
And I think just positioning myself, the way that I did and evolved into where my career is was the best choice that I made for myself.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have no regrets.
Okay. Got a question for you. Got to ask you this question. Who don't you know in this business? I mean, you know everybody. Who don't you know?
There are a lot of people that I don't know that I definitely would like to meet and even work with. And so it's not a long list, but there is definitely a list. And so I'm excited about that. But I say this, and I say this very often, and I've been saying it even more than ever, is that relationship is its own currency. Yes. So money is its own currency. Relationship is its own currency. And so is favor. God's favor is its own currency. And I just believe in really maintaining relationships, not burning bridges.
Right. Don't do that.
Really, really honoring people, really respecting people. Really being grateful for people.
Yes.
And so some people have been with me over a decade.
Wow. I can see why.
Some people have stay with me as long as I've been in this country. I've known them. Wow. So I do value relationships. It's important to me.
Gotcha. Here's a story that happened recently. Actor Jeffrey Owens, he was in the Bill Cosby Show. He had a job at Trader Joe's. And people, when they found out, they said, well, you're an actor. Why are you working at Trader Joe's? Can you explain that for them, please?
Here's an interesting thing about that story. The woman that wanted to expose him or wanted to, whether it was intently shame him or not shame him, but she took a photo and she posted it because that's what social media does now, right? We put all our lives or other people's lives out, without their permission, without their knowledge, and so I think that it helped him in a great way. There are a lot of actors, whether they've had success or not, that had to do other things in the meantime. Because this business is very up and down. Yes. This business, in 1 minute, it can be very consistent, and then the next minute, it can just all go away, and you're like, I can't get the next job. When is the next job coming? Yes. And so I encourage actors, when you get a big money, to invest, so that you have, something to fall back on. But look, if there's need to go and take a regular an honest job, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what he was doing. He was making an honest living. Yeah. She just happened to recognize who he was and put his picture out there, and what the devil meant for bad, God turned around for his good.
Yes, Tyler Perry helped him out too. Yes.
There's been some great things that came out of that story for him, because he stood in his authenticity.
Yes.
He didn't deny it. He didn't try to make it seem as if it was something else. He stood in the authenticity of what it was.
Right.
And that's what I encourage people to do, is that this business It's full of fantasy and fake, but what it really wants is the real.
Yes.
And only the real survive in a business that is full of fantasy and fake.
Yes.
Only the real.
Only the real.
The fake don't last.
Yes. We got a few more minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Future projects. You got a movie coming on?
Yes, I'm working on a film. It's called Jane.
Okay.
It's my second film in the last 6 years that I have developed, that I'm developing and lead producer on from its inception.
Okay.
And so I'm very, very excited about it. It's a Me Too story. It's a diverse cast. It's women-driven, women director. It's all about female. And so it's a great story to tell. And I'm excited about telling the story. It came to me at a time right prior to the Me Too movement breakout. So in 2016, but I had just finished touring with Joseanne Marie on her show Beautiful, which is about sexual assault. And I knew that this is a conversation that we needed to have more, because there were so many women that would suffer in silence.
Yes.
And so when the script came to me, I read it and I said, yes, this should be told. But I tabled it because I was just getting back into fully representing writers and producing myself. I needed some time. And then the Me Too movement broke out, and of course it's the perfect time. A lot of traction to the film right now. People are being receptive to the script. The script is brilliantly written. And so I'm excited about it.
Have you done a reading yet?
Have I done what?
Have you done a reading yet?
No, we've done coverage on the script.
Got you.
But
Need a narrator here, Abby.
Absolutely, yes, for sure. There are projects that I do table read.
Got you.
Especially my writers represent TV that have TV shows.
Got you.
I more table read those.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Lion King. Can you tell us about that?
Yes.
Not the Lion King, but
the Lion King.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a project that I came alongside as a pastor.
Okay.
That had a dream.
Okay.
And I support dreamers.
Okay.
No matter what age.
Right.
So I came alongside him and put the play up on his feet. Great reviews. We're doing it again in January. I'm casting for actors right now, especially those that sing. It's a musical. So I'm excited about it. I ended up going from casting to production manager to assistant director.
You wear many hats. Many hats.
And I'm excited about that because sometimes it's required.
Yeah, it is.
It's just required to wear many hats.
Right.
And so I'm always happy when I can do that.
What's a typical day for you, Belle?
I get that question a lot. My days are not typical, and they're never the same. But they start as early as 7, and they end as late sometimes as midnight, and it just depends on the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of phone calls, lots of emails, sometimes lots of meetings. And sometimes I wrap everything up at 4 just so I can sit still and return those calls and return those emails, because sometimes it's like just one meeting after another meeting after another meeting after another meeting. So the day is always different.
Always different.
But it always starts with prayer.
Amen.
And ends with prayer.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. How can a potential client contact you?
So we have a website that's very different.
Okay.
It kind of just mimics my social media page.
Yes.
I don't even believe there's a contact information there, but bromfieldentertainment@gmail.com, especially for your listeners, and they can say we heard you on Ron Burlington's show with the Actor Circles. I will definitely read them. Even though I get a lot of referrals, I still look at unsolicited materials.
Good.
Yes. Because you just never know what you'll find. You never know what's out there.
The next Holly Berry could be out
And so, yes, I just stay open.
Yes.
I stay open to it.
Got you.
And, now I can take a quick glance and I can know that, oh, no, not the right fit, not what I'm looking for. And so I don't have to spend a lot of time.
Yes.
And so I'd still look at that.
Go ahead. Okay. We're just about out of time. I would like to ask you one more question, and that is my favorite question, and that is, Belle, how do you want to be remembered?
While I'm choking.
It's an act, y'all. It's all an act. The actual act.
I think as a catalyst.
Yes.
I'm a catalyst. I come alongside people and help them to birth their dream or propel their dream. And so I want to be remembered as, and I see people, I love to see people. I'm a humanitarian that way, you know. And so I just want to be remembered as someone that believed in people, believed in humanity and the goodness of people.
Got you.
And the goodness of what's inside of them.
Got you.
Because so many times you spend time looking at what's on the outside,
Right.
but it's what's on the inside.
Inside, yeah. May I have your right hand, please? May I have your right hand, please? This is my trademark. I always give people a silver dollar for good luck. Hold on to it. You'll never be broke. It's one of those things. Just happens. It's something we call STD, something to do. Indeed. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Randman Photography as an Art, Ron Irvin's 5150 The Book, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel Message in a Capsule, and State Farm Agent Carla Green. You haven't left yet. I still got something else for you.
Oh.
He's reaching down here.
And you know, my birthday is like in 2 days.
Thank you, lady. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming over here today.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yay.
you. Thank
These
you.
are my birthday flowers.
Yes. Didn't know that. Learned something there.
Thank you
always
so
learning something.
much.
Want to thank you for coming over today. Talent agent Belle Bromfield. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you for having me.
Always
Thank you for
welcome.
the work that you're doing.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Always room for you to come on back again and tell us some more about you. Want to best wishes to you and to our ever-growing audience. We sincerely thank you. We'll see you next time.